Durag Wisdom, folks, and welcome to Y2K 17.07.20. As we all know, Hollywood does suck. But there is art in cinema, as I said before. Good ideas with art, ideals, values, things that make us think. Now, one of the great screenwriters of all time, Paul Schrader, who was involved with the film Taxi Driver and American Gigolo and the Yakuza. When he taught his film class, I think it was at UCLA, when he taught that, he felt that screenwriting, the art of writing scripts should be, we deal with the problems we have in our society, and we try to, in these scripts, we try to deal with this problem, illustrate it, show what it does to us, maybe have some way of dealing with it. But a thinking person, if you watch a Paul Schrader movie, this is a thinking person. This is a person who's got, it's more than just watching crap like that we're used to. Now, movies. The idea of like making movies about all kinds of historic stuff, which to me, the historic movie is one of the most important you can get involved with. That goes back to the days when we were crawling out of the mud and we were like doing our cave paintings and our illustrating whatever hunt we did that day. The movie of the time. Let's go see the cave paintings today, Barney. Okay, Fred. We're always, as the fragile species that we are, in this vast, chaotic, well, beautifully chaotic universe. I mean, I could go on another topic with that. We could talk about that another time. But ideas are valuable in Hollywood. So I want to not only be a socialist in terms of share the wealth as much as I can, but why not share ideas? There may be somebody out there who's writing, who's got that urge. Well, get yourself the final draft. That's the program I'm using for my scripts. There are others out there. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. I mean, if Billy Wilder was alive today, imagine what he would do with the technology of script writing. But you use that final draft, and the movies that are going to come out of what I now call this Trump terrorist era. And he wants us to be terrorized. And if he is flushed from our lives and his party too, the films about this, the heroic efforts of people in many walks of life to fight this creep, their stories will be told if we win this war. And it is a war, believe me. Okay. And hopefully, to you folks, I hope these songs, that's like the war songs, we won the war songs, Native peoples would maybe sing their praises in winning the war. And having a movie that shows our triumph over evil, and many movies showing our triumph over evil, will be important if we see them on the giant screen. Okay, here's some ideas. All right, a redemption epic about Comey and his public and private conflict with Trump. This is a great story, folks. Here's a guy who did something that the Democrats we were pissed off about, Lordy. And now we learn that there's more to this character than we thought. He was the most persecuted FBI director. He had a wacko in the Oval Office in the name of creepitant Trump, and he wouldn't let him alone. I believe that this story of this guy will be someone researches it and all the dialogue you can get, all those meetings, what a drama this is going to be. Trump wouldn't leave this guy alone. This man, Comey, turns out to be a man of integrity, so to speak. As for leakers, how about some movies about leakers? The story of Reality Winner, who is arrested for leaking. The heroic people who are trying to save our country. And Reality Winner, that's her name, I think. The leaker who's been caught, arrested, probably is going to be, they'll try to imprison her. Movie about her. How about a story about the plight of the immigrants who are trying to get into the country? I want them to remake The Alamo for the third time, a third movie about the Alamo, but with an all-Latino cast. Let's cut this John Wayne crap. Look, I love the John Wayne movies. You know, I mean, I can't stand that guy's politics, but I still enjoy his movies. But let's get with it, folks. Latinos fought and died for our freedom at the Alamo. And there's so many actors out there that I would love to see in that movie. And here's one that's been on my mind for years. And I was inspired by this with the Rosewood movie by John Singleton. I'd like to see a movie about the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riot against the Black Wall Street of Greenwood, the community of Greenwood, Oklahoma, the circa 1920s, around the same time as Rosewood. This was a race riot. And Greenwood was once again known as the Black Wall Street of that time. And it was attacked, that's my phone, it was attacked racially, and before it was over, 500 men, women, and children were murdered. A story about that, we need it now. I mean, that was a race riot, a pogrom, the horrific destruction. 500 plus people murdered because they were black in Greenwood, part of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that could be made now. Of course, the Russian attack and how it happened, you know, we could do a thing about from Malcolm Nance's book, The Hacking of America. This would be, you know, from start to finish, how this was exposed and how it led to the downfall of another presidency. I mean, Trump, I could see Trump leaving. Well, no, he won't. He will let himself be impeached, believe me. This guy's about to see some reality that he has never seen before. He says, you know, I read someplace that his children were raised with the idea they can't lose. And I started to think, there should be a movie about what it was like to be a child growing up with that creep. And even though I despise his kids, believe me, a movie about, he's still going to have a movie about these people, and seeing a movie, an expose movie about them, how it was growing up with that creep. I believe he abused these kids mentally. Of course, the whole Russia attack, the whole investigation, an epic story about the people involved, the heroes. I mean, if of course, if Mueller is fired by this creep or made to resign, I could see him showing up again, Mueller and his team, in a true select independent committee. This is going to be a fight to the, I don't want to say death because it sounds threatening. I want to say the, quote, death of this, the end of this presidency. And I want to see a story about Ned Price, former CIA person, and why he resigned, the whole background. And we know that he was there, Ned was there, Mr. Price was there, when Trump made his speech and he was standing in front of this wall of heroes, CIA heroes, bragging about himself. And on MSNBC, and Ned now, Mr. Price now, does commentary there. He left. I'd like to see a whole story about him. I'd like to see movies about the heroes of our free press. Imagine all the tales that these folks are getting. Everything. I want to see a movie about the indivisible movement from beginning to end. They're showing 1984 now. I like them to make like a film video of that so I could see it in the comfort of my home. And I like to see Michael Moore's show. And I have many more ideas, but please take it seriously because someone else is going to get the idea. And I know I have mostly friends who visit, you know, and it's okay. And when I mean friends, I don't mean like you have to, you know, be sycophants. I don't want sycophants. Nobody wants that. At least I don't. But at least I want to give you something else besides blab talk and something you could use. Be safe. Resist. Replace. Impeach. Reaffirm our American identity.